Good morning, everybody. It is 5:29. It's got to be one of the best starts I've had in weeks. I'm just leaving the campsite on the berm. Beautiful place, really, really nice. It was quite close to a road, so there was some road noise from vehicles, but certainly didn't stop me from sleeping. Some nice stars out, got one picture, wasn't too bad. Could see what I call the plough again. I think most people call it the Big Dipper. There was somebody turned up quite late on at night under head torch as well, but they didn't make a great deal of noise. I kind of felt a bit bad because I was the only one packing up this morning at silly o'clock. Everybody else was still in the tents, but I guess you got to do what you got to do. I tried to be as quiet as possible. I've got about 2.3 miles to go. It sounds stupid, but to the next water source. I didn't see any point in carrying water from this river to the next one. Just cool, the effects you get in the head torchlight. I didn't see any point in carrying water from this river to the next one. So I've got 700 mil to get me to the next river. I'll stop there, fill up, and then it's going to be going up the big climb. Wow, this thing. It is just totally and utterly different in the dark. It gives you such a different perspective on things. Even if it's something that you're not keen on doing, I would say just do it once at least, just to give it a try and just experience it. You see things that you would never otherwise see. You can also get lost quite easily. And you can trip over stuff as well, so please be careful if you do have a go at it. Look at that. Just dangling on a spider web. That is so cool. It's even better the camera focused on it. Anyway, I'm going to shut off and find out which junction I need to be taking. Right folks, this is Panther Creek. You see the footbridge going over there. I'm going to fill up here 2.7 litres because I just checked on the app, thank goodness, and this is the last water for 13 miles, but more importantly it's a 4,000 foot climb I've got after this. So yeah. There is a spring after 13.3 miles that has got some good flow apparently. But I'm just going to have a good drink here as well before I set off. Well, it's about 7:30 I think, and I'm, I would say, probably 12 or 1300 feet up this climb. I looked on the map and it's kind of stepped, so you got 3 sections of climbing with a couple of flatter sections in between them, just to give you a little bit of a break and not kill you completely. Big hello and a massive thank you to Whitebeard on the super thanks on YouTube. Another person that's been commenting and watching for a while, massively appreciated. Thank you so much. Wow. It's just crazy that it's this early in the morning and I'm already like soaked in sweat. It's just such a massive, massive change the last time I came through Washington. Hello. Proper daylight now. It's 9:30 and I'm at mile 2194.6, which is the top of the climb. That has been an absolute beast getting up that this morning. I'm just glad that it's not been scorching hot, because that really would not have been fun if it was a similar temperature to yesterday morning. There's like a little open area here with an absolutely stonking view. I'm just going to spin you around and let you have a look at it. There you go, that's not bad at all, is it? Just nicely framed again by the trees. I think that is Mount Adams. And yeah, it's a pretty cool sight. I'm definitely going to stop here for a little bit and just take a break, because my legs are buzzing, to say the least. I've also noticed this on my hand, like loads of little bubbles. I noticed one yesterday, but it went away. I have a feeling it might be poison oak, a reaction to that. But I'm not 100% certain, but I think that's what it might be. It's not painful, just looks pretty gross. So it's 10:30. Just walking through this forest, this nice, lovely flat trail, and just almost walked past this tree without paying it any attention. But just check this out. There's no other trees that I can see in the area that have got any fungus or growths on them. This one is hogging it all. Just look at how much there is on there. I don't think I've seen one like that before. It even continues quite a way up the trunk as well. That's insane. So I'm just headed towards a trailhead parking lot at the moment on a dirt road. I think the main thing that's there is like an information board and a picnic bench. So it's not an exciting one by any means. I'm just going to take a breather there, sit down for 5 minutes. Just stopped at a spring to load up on water. It was a pipe coming out of the hillside that somebody had installed. It was flowing pretty slowly, but it was very cold and very refreshing. I've been wondering why I feel so tired. My legs feel like they've got no energy. I just looked at what I did yesterday, and I believe it was somewhere around 32 miles, if memory serves correctly. And just looking on the app, that 32 miles included almost 14,000 feet of elevation change, with over half of that being ascent. So that's probably got something to do with it. Well, that was nice. Just going up this hill, and there's two young lads coming down the hill towards me, both with backpacks on. I saw them stop and turn around and just start sort of like whispering to each other. One of them had a Ziploc bag half full of huckleberries. She says, "Oh, do you want some huckleberries? There's loads of them up the trail." I was like, "Oh, thank you very much." And let me put my hand in and take a nice scoop of huckleberries out that he just collected. So nice of him. Wasn't expecting that. Keep an eye out for the berries myself. Well, that 1.7 miles went very quickly. This is Sheep Lake, one of them. I think there's two. The other one's slightly off trail. But I'm going to just sit on this. There's a nice little log that someone's placed. A couple of logs here. I'm just going to sit on them and enjoy this nice, peaceful spot for my lunch, I think. There's some really big blue dragonflies flying around, so let's see how many of them I can spot while I'm sat here. So last night was the first night for a while that I've camped with more than sort of one other person. I think there was maybe 3 or 4 or 5, even 5 tents there in the end. And there's a few reasons for it. I mean, you've probably gathered so far that I am a little bit, for want of a better phrase, antisocial. I just prefer my own company. I prefer hiking alone. I prefer camping alone. But one of the main reasons is I just don't like disturbing other people. I make quite a bit of noise, you know, when I'm packing up and leaving camp, and on a night as well when I'm sort of like charging electronics and rustling food and moving around on my sleeping pad. I just really genuinely feel like I'm disturbing everybody else at the campsite if there's other people there. I think if I'm on my own, obviously I don't worry about that at all. So yeah, I felt pretty bad this morning actually when I was packing up, you know, because it was dead early. I hope I didn't disturb people too much. It suddenly got extremely hot again. There's still quite a bit of climbing to do today. I'm just hoping that it's not as steep as it has been. I hope it's a little more gradual. These first 2 days in Washington, if they're the shape of things to come, I'm going to be in trouble because it's really knocking it out of me. Well, at the moment I'm in between Blue Lake and I think it's Junction Lake. I've just transitioned from lush green forest to this burn area, but there is a lot of greenery at ground level. It's quite an odd contrast, really. The trees are literally black and white. Some of them are charred and some of them are completely parched and white and bleached. Not a leaf or anything in sight. And then on the floor, you've got all this greenery. Oh. Sorry about all the noises. I am overdue a break. The last lake was occupied by quite a few noisy people, so I decided to push on to Junction Lake. It should be about a mile away now. It's about 4:10 and this is Junction Lake. There's normally an outlet flowing right where I'm stood, but it's dried up, so I'll have to just grab the water I need from the actual lake itself. Probably after I've sat down and had something to eat. This is extremely peaceful here though, it's really nice. Oh. Well, just crossing this wash. Had a nice little break at Junction Lake. Break at the lake. That's quite good. Basically, there's a few more lakes coming up in the next, I think, probably 2 or 3 miles. And about a 600-foot climb. After the little grouping of lakes in that 3 miles, there's no water on trail for 10 miles. The next water after that is somewhere called Mosquito Creek. It's about 4:30 p.m. at the moment. So basically, there's also no camp spots marked on the app between the last lake and Mosquito Creek. That's not to say there isn't any, there's just none marked on there. So, 3 choices. A stop at the lakes and camp there, which would mean an early finish, finishing about 5 p.m. probably. A stop at the lakes, fill up with like 4 litres of water and just carry on hiking and hope that I find a camp spot somewhere between there and Mosquito Creek. Or option number 3, I just carry on walking to Mosquito Creek, which would get me there probably in the dark, I'd a guess. I think after this 600-foot climb, I don't think there's much climbing. I think there's quite a bit of downhill actually. So at the moment, that's the idea I'm leaning towards out of the 3. We'll see. We shall see. It's actually cooled down a lot as well, I've got to admit. Cooled down a heck of a lot. It looks kind of a little overcast and cloudy. Right, well, I'm actually making pretty decent progress. It's 10 to 6 and I've got 6.5 miles left to go to get to Mosquito Creek. It's only about a 290 foot ascent. That's not a great deal. I think it's about 1,200 feet descent. So that should make things a little easier. Still got plenty of water on me to get me there. Kind of hoping to arrive before 8:30 p.m. would be nice. That'd be really nice. And try and keep up a decent pace. Hopefully stand a chance of finding a spot if it's not too busy and setting up in the daylight or not in the dark. That would be preferable. Well, it is a little after 6:30 p.m. I've got just under 4 miles to go to Mosquito Creek. Oh, it has been a long day. There was a trail register in an ammo box on the floor, and I thought I'd sign it as I was going through at the trailhead back there. I'm just looking at the names in front of me, and there's been a lot of people come through in the last 3 days, and especially today. So I'm not really fancying my chances of actually getting a tent spot at Mosquito Creek. I do have a backup plan. It just involves walking another few miles on. There's a dirt road that's apparently abandoned and out of use, and comments are saying there's a few spots there. So I can always load up with water, and that is just before another water source as well, so I don't have to carry a ton of extra water with me. I could grab it in the morning quite easily. So I'm just trying to walk quickly these last few miles. Evening all. Yes, you are correct. It is another one of those nights. It's about 20 to 10. I found somewhere to put the tent between kind of 8:15 and 8:30 on the dirt road that I mentioned. It's not a very big dirt road at all. There's like one space to put a tent, pretty much. So that's where I am. It's right next to the trail as well. It is mile 2224, which puts me at a 41.1 mile day today. Never in my wildest dreams did I think I would do a 40-mile day in Washington. So that is now ticked off the box, and I don't have to do that again. So I've now got a 40-mile day in NorCal, Oregon and Washington. Yay me. I've eaten, I've done everything like that. I've just filtered some water, so I've got some for the morning and during the night as well. I'm really thirsty actually. I've just had an electrolyte sachet, drank the entire thing. Had my hot chocolate, that was nice. So 41.1 plus the roughly 33 yesterday, 74 miles. The whole section was 147, so slightly over halfway in 2 days. Nice. I can chill out a bit now. I don't want to get to Packwood early. I want to get to Packwood on Thursday. Got my shoes to pick up there. One of my viewers has kindly sent me something as well, which should be arriving on Thursday, I hope. And I picked that up and then got a resupply. I was going to stay in Packwood for a night, but I think the way I'm feeling at the moment, I'd like to try and get there early in the morning and basically resupply, pick my stuff up, and then get out again in the afternoon, just doing in and out. The reason being that the next stop will be Snoqualmie Pass, which is basically just like a hotel and a few shops. But you don't have to go very far off trail for it. You can just walk to it, you don't have to hitch. So I'm kind of thinking that if I do an in and out at Packwood, if I time it right, I can get to Snoqualmie Pass kind of like mid to late afternoon, have a night in the hotel there maybe, get my stuff done like laundry, have a shower, get some videos uploaded because apparently the hotel's got pretty decent Wi-Fi, get resupplied at the shop next door, and then that will possibly be my last kind of like hotel stop of the trail. So that's what I'm thinking at the moment. As we all know, I like to change my mind on a regular basis. So don't hold your breath on that happening. But I'm going to have a quick look at things on the phone tonight before I go to sleep and see if I can work something out. Anyway, tomorrow is day 136, and hopefully we should be getting a little bit more up close and personal with Mount Adams tomorrow. That could be pretty interesting. Take care of yourselves, guys, and see you on the next one.